So this question is much more confusing sounding than it actually is. They're basically just giving you a graph and then asking you to find a specific point along that graph. So taking a look at the question, right? The graph shows the possible combinations of the number of pounds of tangerines and lemons that could be purchased for $18 at a certain store. So the only piece of information that's really useful from that first sentence is that $18 is the total. We could have figured that out just using like different other points and kind of some math, but we don't need to. It's just given to us. But the other pieces of information there, the pounds of tangerines and lemons, we knew that just looking at the graph, right? Those are the axis labels. So always remember that the graph is probably going to be labeled in a way that just tells you in a much more simplistic way what it means. Then, if we continue, if Melvin purchased lemons and 4 pounds of tangerines, so right there, let me highlight that, 4 pounds of tangerines, that is a coordinate. Now, specifically as an x-coordinate, we wouldn't really know that just by reading it, but by comparing it with the graph and seeing that tangerines are the x-axis, we're being told go to 4 on the x-axis. Then, how many pounds of lemons did he purchase? Well, the line represents the combination, so all we really need to do here is just go up to the line. Where does it intersect that line? Well, that is where y is equal to 10, and 10 is the number of pounds of lemons. That's what they wanted, so that's the answer. So like I said, this seems like it's going to be more complicated. It almost feels like we need to do some math or some sort of equation here, but no. They gave us the graph. That's basically capturing the equation in a much more visual way, a way that's much easier to understand, and so there's no algebra involved. But I do think that, especially as we're getting later in this module, people are going to start to panic and think that these are getting really hard. But overall, remember, this is still the easy module. You probably have noticed that by now. And so even the hardest questions aren't really going to be that bad. What they're mostly going to do to try to make them seem harder is give you stories and lots of text, things that just make it feel different from what you've been doing in school. But if you see a graph, you've got X's and Y's. It doesn't matter if the X and Y are labeled with different things. It's still X's and Y's. We're still thinking about points. So just follow the instructions and go to the right point on the graph. That should really cover it.